Yeah. Okay. So in yesterday's we have discussed three operators. One is arithmetic, assignment, and comparison. So now comes the other operator, which is called logical operator. So what is this logical operator? Okay. So if I have multiple conditions, in the sense, so let's assume in the comparison operator itself, you want to check something like greater than also, or equal to, or not equal to, or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, all in one single go. Okay. If you want to compare, if you want to combine multiple comparison operators in one single go, okay, then you can use something called this logical operators. So in logical operators also, you have multiple things. One is and, one is or. Okay, not is a different thing. I'll tell that. Okay, but mainly we have two. One is and one is or. Okay, you see the symbol, right? End. So this means like it is an end operator, and this pipeline symbol, pipe symbol, the two, which denotes like this is or condition. Yeah. Okay. So what is this end and what is this or? What is this difference mainly? Okay. Let's take a simple example. Okay. I want to verify whether it is equal to, okay, and and it is greater than. Okay. If I have two conditions and both the conditions has to be successful, if I am thinking in that way, both has to be successful. In that case, I can use something called end. Okay. Suppose I have two conditions, but if I feel like any of the one condition should be true, okay, if any of the one condition should be true, in those case I can use something called or. Okay, you got it. So I have two conditions. If both the conditions has to be true, in those cases I use and. But in the same use case of two conditions, I want to see like if any of the one condition got passed, I want to execute the next following step. In those cases, I can use something called or. Okay. And this, whatever you see this exclamatory symbol, right? This one denotes like something called not. So here we know this not equal to type, right? Same thing. It is just it is not with equal to. Okay. Here it is not equal to, here it is just not. Okay. It just denotes it's not. I have a condition I want to test. So let's assume I am using something called if a greater than 10. Okay. This will tell like a greater than 10. If I add this not before a, it will become the opposite condition. Instead of a greater than 10, it will become like not greater than 10, which is like less than 10. Okay. If you add this symbol before any type of condition, it becomes like not of the particular condition. If I tell something like a equal to 10, okay. Now, if I include not in before that, it becomes not a equal to 10. So it just becomes the opposite side of the condition that we have written if we use this exclamatory symbol, which is like not. Okay. So let's see some example here. Okay. So first I'll add something called logical operators. Okay. Okay. So in this we have three: and, or not. Okay, these are there. Okay, so for this, I'll initialize some variables int k equal to something called true. One as a boolean value. Let's assume, sorry, and one more L equal to some 10. Okay, now I write one condition something like if k value equal to true, I want to write a condition something like I want to verify k value should be true and L value should be 10. Both the conditions has to be true. In that case, I use something called and L equal to 10. Okay. In this case, I want to print console.log validation successful. Else it's not successful. Okay. Simply I'm just writing like this. So here what I'm doing in this if condition, I am telling k has to be true and L has to be 10. Okay. K should be equal to true and L should be equal to 10. Okay. So here what I'm doing, I am comparing two values like two conditions with an AND operator. Okay. So let's try to test that. Yeah. So here it came up and shown validation successful. Okay. So let's assume if I put something like equal to 11. Okay. So here, what is the thing that's happening? It is telling k should be equal to true and L should be equal to 11. So here, whether it will execute 45 or 47.
47.
47, right? Yeah. Yes. Validation is not successful. Okay. Why this went to not successful? Because one condition got failed here, which is L equal to 11. So this condition got failed at it and it went to else block. Okay. So when you use AND, it is like all the conditions should be passed. Suppose if I use OR symbol here. Okay. So what this OR tells is if any of the condition got passed, then it will go to the if statement itself. Okay, which is like 45. It doesn't verify for all the conditions. If any one condition is successful, then it goes to 45. Okay. Now K is true. Okay. So that should be coming up. Yeah. Validation is successful. Okay. Suppose if I put this as false. Okay. Now here all the conditions got failed. Like K, its value is true, but we are expecting false. This value is 10, but you are expecting 11. So which is false. Okay. If I just run it, validation is not successful. Okay. So this is how you actually use your AND and OR operators. Okay. So here, what is this not operator? Okay. I am telling not is something like you have a condition and you are just telling if you want to do something opposite to your condition. Okay. Exactly not the condition. Okay. So let's just take an example of if k equal to true. use the same print statements. Okay. Now equal to true is your condition. Okay. If I run this will successfully show like validation is successful. Okay. But if I want to verify the not condition, I can just put something like not. Okay. If not k equal to true, which is like it should be false. Okay. If I run this, it goes to not successful. Validation is not successful because I am telling it should not be equal to true. Suppose, let's say if I give this one as false. Okay. Now I am telling not equal to false, which is equal to true. Now it should show validation successful. Okay. So like this, you can use your not, you can use your and you can use your or operators. Okay.